This is Hiro Matsuda again, and I just made a batch of soil. So we have plenty of soil to work with as we get to today's chapter. Today we're going to be working with the roots, the discarded roots from yesterday's project. Now, kind of call it free bonsai because what we're doing is we just using things that are usually discarded. So what could be simpler and more economically than that? So let's get on with our project, and it's all about the root cutting of a Chinese elm. Okay, what we have is the roots that came off of the project we did yesterday. Remember, these were in the ground, kind of actually grew voluntarily. And normally, these are just thrown out. But what I've discovered over the years is a lot of these are potential for great material. It really doesn't look like much right now. And actually, maybe not until these get taken out of the training containers, and it might be a couple years from now. But anyway, this is the start. Okay, basic theory is you take a root. So this was just in the ground and cut loose and normally thrown away. But if we take this and bury it to about this point, it'll re-sprout. And that's the premises of our program today. And then looking at this, you see how these two strong roots are? Well, if we add a rock to it, then it becomes root of one. That's kind of unusual. So depending on how we get it to root, or actually, it's already rooted, so how we get it to re-sprout is a totally different thing. So, very unusual root structure. Well, you know, if you've been following me, some of the things that I show you as finished product are quite unique, right? Well, that's because I'm starting out with unique materials. So, I'm thinking that this one here might make it into a floating root style, and eventually it'll be like this, and this is the top. And how it pops on top, we don't know till it happens. So we'll be doing things for 3, 5, 7 years from now. Okay, here's one. And what I'm going to do is to put it in this container tomorrow, and saw this. It's not very impressive, nor will you get the full story. And I think one of the beauties of me being able to do these for YouTube and for other uses, at least you'll know what's in it. But it takes, 3 to 5 years? And usually by then I'll have forgotten what I've done. And so when it comes out and it looks good, then it's like Christmas. Oh boy, look at this one here. I think, a few years from now, this is going to look really great. I'm going to try to plant it like this. And so you can see that there's a lot of roots that will become prominent feature. So I'll go ahead and do this one. If you happen to walk into my nursery and took a look at this, it's not even inspiring. You'll wonder, what the heck is that with no leaves? But this, in time, can become something really good. It's unusual. I'm not sure whether it's unusual good, bad, or otherwise, but I'll go ahead and give it a shot. And then, so when it goes in, all you're going to see is the little top, and that won't be impressive. But just wait. 5 years. This is what I did this morning. Not very impressive looking, but now that you know the secret, and if you had your X-ray vision, you could see what's underneath the soil. And that's one thing about bonsai, is not all stages are beautiful or even tolerable. So, I always talk about the ugly section. This is going to go to a section where people generally do not go poking around. And I'll put it away and see what happens. Percentage take should be about 70% on this batch because there was a lot of roots. Quite often I push a little harder with a little bit less roots, and then my success rate is less than 50. So anyway, this is the first half of the root cutting. I'm going to get started on root over rock chapter on root cuttings. I wanted to show you what you could do with it. This is root over rock start. And what it is that if you find the right root on that elm, you could do it this way. Just attach it to your rock, and then it's going to get buried. It's going to get buried so the rock is almost invisible, right? Same thing here. Well, most likely this one will be about here, so you see a little bit of rock. But you have to bury the root first and slowly expose it. Root over rock is done with actual live plants, but when you have an elm and you have the right root and you happen to have rocks, then all you have to do is attach it. So it's a very simple process if you have the right things at the right time. So as I wrap this up, I'm going to say thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed it, please tell your friend and subscribe. So I'm wrapping up this chapter on root cuttings. And this is just one example of what you can do. So this is root over rock root cutting on a Chinese elm. I'll see you again real soon.